considering selling your house and you've started talking to friends and family and someone, that one person who always is the dream crusher, has said to you, oh, don't do it, it's so stressful. But why? Why is it stressful? What is it that could be so hard about selling your house? Especially now, homes are flying off the market in a lot of places and we're seeing some multiple offers in a lot of situations. What makes it stressful? That's what we're going to talk about today, and we're starting right now.
I'm Sherry Ann Green with Coldwell Banker. Welcome to my YouTube channel that guides home sellers and home buyers in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia.
So selling your house, there are a lot of steps to go through, and I've done some other videos about getting your house prepped in 30 days or less and how to keep your home clean while you're on the market. And there are a lot of places where I think people think they're going to be stressed out during the real estate process, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I want to talk a little bit about why, so that you can manage that stress as you go through the process. And the first thing that I think trips everybody up is getting the home prepared. It can be as simple as decluttering a little bit and cleaning. It can be a lot more involved, but it needs to be sometimes. Making your house less personal, moving in, staging furniture if your home has already been vacated by you, or depersonalizing in terms of furniture, removing some pieces of furniture, opening up the space so that buyers can see it and see how they would live and see how they would move around. There's nothing worse than an open house where nobody can go anywhere because all of your things are everywhere and they can't walk around. They can't get to the sliding glass door or the look out the window and see the view. You've got to have room to move, some elbow room for buyers. They need to see that space. They need to see clean. So getting your home ready to sell in terms of cleaning up, staging, or decluttering can be the first place that feels stressful to a lot of sellers. I think the thing to think about here is start early. If you know you're going to sell your house this year, go ahead and start. As winter comes to an end, if you're planning on putting your home on the market in the spring, go ahead and pack up the sweaters and put them in storage. Put them in the attic in boxes or bins. Start to clean up things you're not going to need while the home is on the market. It will make a huge difference. As I say to people all the time, you are going to move. Get going. Just get started. Go ahead, start packing some things up so that buyers can see their way around your house. If you do need to have your home staged, talk to your agent and let them help you through that process. Stagers are very helpful. This is their whole job. They go around all day long, look at homes, look at the layout, and decide what furniture should be in there to make it appealing. So it will photograph well and be captured on video beautifully. And then, of course, be seen by the buyers in person. So getting your house ready could be that first set of stress triggers, but talk to your agent through each step of the process, and I think you'll find it's manageable. The second thing that sometimes stresses people out is keeping it clean. I did a whole video on how to keep your house clean while you have it on the market. Why are we keeping it clean? Because company is coming over almost every day. Somebody's going to want to tour your house in 2 hours flat, and you've got to make sure it's ready to go. So make sure you know how to keep it clean. Keep some tricks and some hacks up your sleeve. Maybe you've got a bin you put all the toys in. Maybe you keep the cleaner that you need under each sink so you can quickly wipe down each cabinet every morning on your way out of the house. Every night, put your clothes away. Don't pile them up in a chair. Do your laundry. Either leave it in the dryer or fold it and put it away immediately. Clean up a litter box. Clean up after your pet. Clean up after your child. Clean up after yourself. But do it on a daily basis instead of all on Saturday or all on Sunday, and you'll be ready to go every time a buyer wants to see your house. Showings. Buyer showings. Those can be the next thing that stress people out, and here's why. They're often late. They linger longer than you expect, and sometimes they don't show up at all. It happens. Buyers have a life too, and sometimes it just gets messy and they're late for their appointment, or they stay longer than they're supposed to because they were probably late on the front end, or it's because they really like your house and frankly you want them to stay later if that's the reason. And sometimes they don't show up at all. They change their mind. or their agent makes the appointment on their behalf thinking they're going to want to see your house, and it's just not the right neighborhood or not the right school district or not the right layout, so they cancel at the 11th hour. Just be prepared for that. Be prepared for the showings to last longer than you expect. Don't stand at the front door and wait for them to show up. Give them the time they've booked and maybe a buffer of 15 minutes on the front end and the back end in case they're early or in case they linger a little longer than expected. And when they cancel, don't take it personally. They haven't seen your house, so it certainly isn't because of that. So you've prepped the house, you've cleaned the house, you've started to have showings. Some people get stressed out waiting for an offer. When are we going to get an offer? It's really tough, right? When are we going to get an offer? It's hard. And buyers will tell you they like your house. Buyers will tell you that it's beautiful and that it's got great light. And then they don't write an offer. And that's hard. Your agent wants to share with you the feedback that they get. So even when it's good, they should share it with you so that you know. It does help you understand that you're doing the right things. You'll also get some negative feedback during your showings, and that's the other thing that can stress people out. You'll hear your house is overpriced, or it's too personal, or I hate that color green, or I don't like the neighborhood. Whatever it may be, take it in and realize this just wasn't the house for them, but also listen. Are there cues in that negative feedback that you can address? What if the room is too apple green for everyone but you? Maybe you should paint it. Just quickly put up a lighter neutral color and then show it off and see what happens. Listen to the negative feedback, and if they tell you your house needs a fix, you can do price, change the color of a room, remove some clutter, make sure you do it. So you've negotiated an offer. Whew, a lot of people are not stressed out after that. They are relieved. Whew. And then comes the home inspection. And that can stress people out too. You feel like you've done a good job of keeping your house in tip-top shape and you've replaced some appliances over the lifetime of owning your home. But what is that inspector going to find? Because trust me, inspectors almost always find something. Even in a new build, even in a home that's been very well maintained, they usually find something. So just take it all in, talk through it with your agent, and see what the buyer has asked you to fix or repair, replace, or to simply give them a credit for. Think about it from the buyer's perspective for a minute. You want to sell them a home that is safe. You wouldn't want to buy a home that's unsafe. So if it's missing a couple of GFCIs or there's some other hazard in the house, you'd probably want that fixed if you were the buyer too. So think about it in those sorts of terms, as put yourself in the shoes of the other person. But you also do want to be realistic, and the buyer needs to be realistic too. Again, it's a great time to have a conversation with your agent. What should we be prepared for here? What's realistic? And how do we get through that home inspection process and negotiations that follow? So you're all through the home inspection process, and now you're just waiting to close. Now you're waiting for the appraisal and the underwriter. There's really little you can do in this process. Now your agent should have given that appraiser some comparable sales so that they showed the appraiser how you got to the price you listed your home at, which should help explain how the buyer got to the price they offered you. If there were multiple offers on the property, the appraiser should be told that so that they know why your home may have gone over the asking price. So that's helpful for them to do their job, is to have a lot of background information. It can be helpful for your agent to go to the appraiser's visit to the home. The appraisers don't always want that to happen. Sometimes they like to tour the home by themselves without being inundated with the agent's sales pitch on the house. But waiting for those things can be stressful to a seller as well. Just remember that there are ways to get through that appraisal process, and there are ways to negotiate if you do have a negative, a lower appraisal than you expected. You can present more comparable sales to the appraiser in hopes of a review and a change. You can also negotiate with the buyer on how to come to terms and still sell that house. There are a lot of steps to get through in selling a house, and it can be stressful, but it can be worth it. I think the biggest advice I have is to keep an open line of communication with your agent. If you've got a question, ask them. If you've already asked them once, ask them again. It's okay. Your agent does this every day and you don't. So don't hesitate to ask them more questions than you think are necessary. Ask them anything you want to know and listen when they give you the answer. Listen when they give you feedback, good or bad, about what you might need to do to get your house sold. I wish you all the luck in selling your house, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I have an entire playlist dedicated to selling, an entire playlist dedicated to buying, which if you sell, that comes next.